TWM podcast.
Hello, I'm Matty Deller and welcome to Best of the Rest, your Friday roundup of the odds and ends in your wrestling week. But this one is a little bit more special, but we'll get to that in just a few seconds. This is a TWM podcast bringing you all the wrestling content you need 6 days a week on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, TuneIn, Podbean, YouTube and wherever else you get your Poddingtons. If you want some wrestling swag, Squared Circle Box is the place to go. SquaredCirclebox.com. Use the code TWMNews to get 10% off your first order. I do believe their latest box, their first box 2020, will be out very, very soon. We'll probably be doing some sort of unboxing thing in the near future on the internet, so please keep an eye out for that. Joining me on this special episode of Best of the Rest is my friend and yours, and the man that likes to go through all the odds and sods in wrestling with me. It is Kyle James. Hello there.
We are back.
We are back indeed.
Weird.
Well, no, we took a week off last week because there was literally nothing to discuss. There was no NXT. There was an NXT UK, but it wasn't really worth doing one show about an hour-long show. There was no Impact, and we're still waiting for Ms. and Mrs. to actually start. But we have got some things to talk about. We're going to do a little bit of preview. We're going to talk about Impact. We're going to preview Hard to Kill and TakeOver this coming weekend. And also, we've got some awards to give out, because that's right, the TWMMys, they've been voted and tabulated, and we're going to announce the winners on this pod at the end of the show. So I hope everyone has donned their tuxedos, their award suits, if you will. Kyle, what are you wearing on this award ceremony?
That is going to get you arrested. I am not spilling the beans.
Ah, I see. The assless chaps in the gimp mask again, as custom for all Kyle-related awards ceremonies. But before we get to the awards, we have the small matter of talking about the final show of Impact before Hard to Kill. The final Impact before Hard to Kill. If you're a fan of video packages, this is the show for you. It was a good Impact build into a pay-per-view, but it was literally just a lot of video packages ad infinitum.
Yeah, but well, I enjoyed it mainly because I've missed a couple of episodes. We've had some time off. I've not had enough time to catch up with all of the wrestling due to day job stuff. So a lot of the stuff that I've missed was nice to have a little mini recap of.
It was a great primer before Hard to Kill, which does work, which basically is what a go-home show should be. Especially for something couple like this, it should be a primer to catch everyone up on what's happened ahead of the big season finale, if you will. So we'll run through these things. We got a video package for the tag belts, and then we see a backstage segment where Mac has doubts about facing the North, doesn't want to hold Rich Swann back, and then we hear Rich Swann saying, "Don't ever sell your shelf short," which is good advice in all fairness. Never ever sell any storage short, really. Swann hypes them up, and they appear to be good. But I am wondering whether we're going to have a weak link thing. Maybe Rick Swann, maybe Willie Mack walks out of the match Hard to Kill, or maybe we get Willie Mack turning on Rich Swann. I'm not sure what they're doing with this. I am rather intrigued, Kyle.
No matter what the outcome, I think the team of Willie Mack and Rick Swann is not going to be a thing post January 12th.
Yeah, I feel like it's not long for this world as Kyle rustles something. I imagine it is a chocolate biscuit.
Close enough. It is a chocolate that contains biscuit, breaking into the last of the Christmas presents and opening a white Twix.
There we go. So this is turned into a mukbang as well as a review of Impact. Lovely. The X Division title, we get a decent little video package on Ace and Trey, all the stuff you've seen from the last few weeks. But the world title is really where they come into their own. We get a really great promo from Dave Christ, basically just giving the exposition for both of OVE's matches at Hard to Kill, for Madman Fulton as well as Sami Callihan. And then the video package for Tessa and Sami, Kyle, was fantastic.
Pick your favourite.
They detailed Tessa's life very, very well, even though their makeup department needs a lot to be desired, because they left Tessa with a massive black eye throughout the entirety of this.
But going into it, Sammy's even the lighting of this whole thing, it was darker, and it really set the tone.
It's Yeah, like it worked really well because it did really, even though you got a lot of detail that could make you sympathise with Sammy, he still did a little bit to the end, which made him the like, you knew which one was the one to cheer and one to boo, because even he was like, I lost both my parents when I was in my 20s. Wrestling's been my family for so long. I've been promoting intergender wrestling or promoting females as equals in wrestling well before Impact have been. But the end of it is like, I'm still going to crack Tessa Blanchard's skull. And I'm like, yep, we definitely know you're the heel then. So that's good to know.
It's like the Robbo level of like, I'm going to beat you up. You're still going to enjoy me doing it.
Yeah, we're still going to pop for Sammy, but regardless. We also got a really good match to open the show, where Michael Elgin defeating Eddie Edwards in a fantastic opening contest. But this is a match that's meant to be on this Sunday, so really seems counterproductive to have them have an absolute barnstormer of a match when they're going to be wrestling literally 4 days removed. At the time of coming out, it'll be 5 days away from the pay-per-view. Just seemed a little bit weird.
But they've now made the match on Sunday, Saturday? I don't know what day it is.
Sunday.
Time is a thing.
Sunday.
Okay. But they've now made that for the Call Your Shot trophy, so at least we've now got something on the line, because otherwise it was just like, I don't want to link it to a WWE thing, but it was almost Cesaro and Sheamus, where it's like, oh, we're just going to like keep fighting and see which one of us is better. No, now it's actually got a reason to happen. For pride.
But hopefully, part of me really wants Elgin to win via DQ and like win the trophy just through pure shithousery, which would be really, really funny. I think we said this before though, but this was even more so. Eddie Edwards' hair is just a war crime at this point. It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's getting close to Madman Fulton levels right now.
It's just, I want to literally, the amount of times I just want to, I feel like, go to the makeup department at Impact and be like, it was fucking one of yours. Which one you don't know how to do hair without making it look shit? Disgusting.
Like, just give them like a bottle of L'Oreal, like for kids. Like,
why did I know you was going to immediately go for the L'Oreal kids route? Just give them some L'Oreal kids.
Because I am still like 24 years old, and it's basically my life.
No more tears.
After all, no, because it's a moment where everyone's like, no tears. No, it means no tears, you idiot. We were just children and stupid.
just no tears ever. We got TJP, Falabar and Daga, the oddest face team possibly of all time. They lost to the Dirty Hit Squad. We also saw Swinger trying to drug Joey Ryan with Somas, because drugging people's apparently funny. And then Tommy Dreamer makes him drink it in a very, very green room. Like literally the definition of a green room.
You know what? I genuinely thought, like, growing up, that a green room would be green, because it was an episode of, like, Kim Possible, where they had a green room, and going into comprehensive school. Little anecdote now, but it's just weird and on topic. But I went into, like, a green room, and my disappointment when the walls were grey.
Sometimes I think green rooms were traditionally actually green. I swear they were. I don't know. Please let us know. What green rooms have you been in? And have they been green? Answers on a postcard, please. Then we see, later on, we see Johnny Swinger passed out, and it's quite clear that Pete Williams and Joey Ryan are going to draw dicks all over Johnny Swinger's face.
Clearly, they are inspired by this week's DDT.
Yeah. That wasn't DDT. That was some offshoot promotion. That wasn't DDT. That was just Chris Brooks and Drew Parker fucking about somewhere. But still, because Japan. The biggest story of this is a message I got from Carl earlier on, which flat out says that he fancies Susie.
Yeah, we're in uncharted territory here, kids.
Yes, he's finally discovered women. We could all be doomed at this point. However, we've realised that you have a specific type, because I did say, of course you fancy Susie, because E-Girl is just 2019 emo, and that is very much your aesthetic, so I'm not shocked that you fancy Susie at all.
I don't think it's just like I fancy her, it's just like I love her as a person as well. Just, we need to talk about this, like her coming down after being locked in a room by James Mitchell and just making her way to the announce table as Don Callis is like, this is a headset, this is a microphone, this is how you do it. Say hi, Susie. Hi, Susie.
That bit that made me laugh was like, say hi, Susie. I knew what was going to happen. I knew it was going to be her going, hi, Susie, and it was still funny, yeah. and her just not understanding the concept of sound, being confused by things and not really understanding wrestling, and then calling Rosemary, oh, that's the lady with the nice smile. It was great.
Again, just like Father James Mitchell, like trying to not have her watch anything what's going on, is literally see no evil, hear no evil as well, which I love this whole thing, and I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm here for it. Because
the whole basis was that Susie doesn't want Susie to see Havoc batter Rosemary. She got it anyway. Rosemary did batter Havoc, and John Callis got pissed off because he spilt his beverage. Shades of CM Punk return to Impact confirmed. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that. Moose then tried to have a pep talk with RVD, but he was too busy pashing with Katie Forbes, so they lost to Brian Cage and Rhino in the main event. It was an okay episode of Impact. It set up stuff. It was a primer. The matches weren't really the main point. It was more just to pretty much set up the rest of the stuff for the pay-per-view. So let's talk about the pay-per-view right now. Oh, actually, I didn't write this down. I forgot to mention this. There was a 6-woman tag that was Kira Hogan, Madison Rain, and Taya losing to ODB, Jordan Grace, and Tennille Dashwood. ODB got the win after Jordan Grace hit the Vader Bomb, and ODB shit-canned her. So there's dissension between those guys, which leads into a match at Hard to Kill, which we'll now talk about now. See, I still think that we're going to get a similar ending to that happening, but I feel like it's going to be Taya throwing Jordan out of a ring after beating ODB. Yeah, I feel like at this point now, the way they've built it, I feel like Jordan's getting fucked over and Taya's keeping the belt, because they seem to have... They don't want to give Jordan Grace that title. I'm not sure what's going on, but they really are reluctant to give her that belt. ODB's freelancing, so it seems like she's just here to take a fall. Yeah, this is true. So we got Madman Fulton versus Ken Shamrock. For me, this is Fulton's winning. It just I don't see Shamrock beating Fulton. Fulton's gonna probably... I think this is gonna be the statement thing, which is gonna injure out Shamrock, or maybe write Shamrock out of Impact. I don't think he's sticking around for long, and it puts Fulton over, so it makes sense for Fulton to win. What do you think? I just think if Fulton wins, and it kind of just would be like, yeah, OV have momentum, and then Sammy could go either way. We got Moose and Rhino, the Spear versus the Gore. They seem to be pushing Moose quite heavily, and I think that he's going to be the first challenger for who I think is winning the main event. So I think Moose is beating Rhino. It kind of makes sense. Don't know about you. I don't want to watch this match, I'm not going to lie. Are you still scarred from watching the Ken Shamrock Moose match from the last pay-per-view? It's just ruined. I'm just not high on Moose, I don't know why. I used to really like Moose, but I feel like Moose, and we could get crap for this on Twitter if it ends up, I don't know, just going towards his way. I feel like Moose over the last years has just got really lazy and complacent, and is just relying on the fact that he's a Moose rather than upping his game. Because if he upped his game... Your words, not mine. If he upped his game, I reckon he'd be in... he'd be wrestling in Japan, because I know Okada really liked him and stuff, so I feel like it's more he does what he does and it works though. Yeah, but he seems to be happy. It's just not for me. He seems to be happy being the big deal in Impact rather than spreading out. Well, I don't know. We got Rob Van Dam versus Brian Cage. I have a feeling that probably Rob's going to win via shenanigans. Do you reckon we'll see Melissa Santos come out and go after Katie Forbes? That would be fun. That would be tremendous if that happens, leading to some sort of weird mixed tag match or something down the line. We've got the Call Your Shot trophy on the line, Michael Elgin versus Eddie Edwards. I really want it to be that Elgin wins via DQ because Eddie snaps, so Elgin wins via shithousery and gets the trophy. I don't think it's going to happen, because even the commentary on this episode was can Elgin win where it counts? Now it counts because we actually have a stipulation for something. Yeah, so what, do you thinking Eddie's going to win, or do you reckon it's going to be Elgin? I think the only people who are going to win are those who don't have to listen to Alicia Edwards act. So all of us, hopefully, if she's not there. World Tag Team titles, the North, Willie Mack and Rich Swann. Yeah, I don't really see the point in giving the belts to Willie Mack and Rich Swann, so I'm hoping the will happen. They will split up. Guarantee it now. Yeah. Ace Austin versus Trey. Unless this ends, my ideal end is Ace Austin. I feel this could end also in a DQ. or maybe, and this is me writing it, Trey's about to win, and Reno Scum play a video on the screen of like hidden camera footage of Ace Austin banging Trey's mum or something.
It's going to be like,
full on penetration on screen.
It's definitely going to be like Dark Alley disaster kind of video going on.
Is that a video you own personally, Dark Alley disaster?
What? Dad?
Yes, because once again, your market. Yeah, Ace Austin's walking out the belt, walking out champion with this one, and we might see some MILF porn. Knockout Championship, we kind of discussed this. Ty Valkyrie, Jordan Grace, and ODB. If this was a singles match, Jordan Grace was winning, because it leads into my theory of next pay-per-view, you have Blanchard against Grace unified in the belts and making the promotion in agenda. But they've whacked ODB in, so I feel like they're keeping the belt on Taya.
For some reason, I just feel like the company's not high on Jordan, and there was that time last year where she wasn't properly signed, and I feel now that she is, they still haven't made up their mind whether they want her to be like that person, because Taya, she's reliable, like she's been their go-to person. Taya's recently just come over for a UK tour as well.
I feel like that Jordan Grace isn't going to be long for that promotion. Like, I imagine she signed I don't think she signed a long-term deal with Impact. I don't think she has. I can't remember the exact ins and outs of Jordan Grace. I think she's probably signed a short-term one, and is probably going to try and find her way either to Japan or maybe AEW in the very near future. She put, like, Jordan Grace, that Impact struck while the iron was hot with her, but then what they've done is they've just sat her there, unless they are going to like have the agenda thing and they're waiting for like Tessa to have the belt, and maybe we have Tessa and Jordan for the Impact World title down the line. But I feel like it's more going down the line of they're not interested in giving the belt to Jordan Grace, and they're happy just keeping the belt on Taya because she's over as a heel, and they've not really built. They have built a challenger in Jordan Grace, but they're not willing to use her. So,
what I think could happen, because Impact have been building up to a returning show, haven't they? And everyone thinks it's going to be Lockdown. If it is Lockdown, that could be the moment where Jordan gets Taya one-on-one. Major throwback to when it was Mickie James chasing Madison Rayne many moons ago, and she had to always have these matches with Tara, and then finally got the title match one-on-one against Madison in a Lockdown.
Wasn't that the one where Mickie James' shoulder was absolutely bollocks, so they had to have like a 10-second match in the cage?
Yep. And weirdly enough, she beat Tara in a steel cage match, breaking Tara's elbow. So,
also, if they did it at Lockdown, I would. It would not shock me, because it's very similar to Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle, where they gave the belt to Samoa Joe too late, and if they wait until the next pay-per-view giving the belt to Jordan Grace, it would be too late, which would be a shame. And then Impact World Championship, Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard. This match is going to steal the show. It's a great card, but there's one match that stands out, and I think everyone is banking on Tessa winning this. It just makes sense.
Everyone and the dog is banking on this, mate.
Yeah, so I would be shook. I would be shooketh, Kyle, if there was any form of a shenanigans led to Sami winning. So I think Tessa's winning this one. If you're going to check out Hard to Kill, check out on fight.tv, courtesy of the Fight app. If you check out our social media this weekend, we will be giving away a free Fight Pass to watch Hard to Kill for free, courtesy of Fight. Easy for me to say. This podcast, and indeed all TWM podcasts, are brought to you by SquaredCircleBox.com, the only place for your monthly wrestling box needs. With things from superstars from WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, British Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, and loads more, it is the only place that matters if you want to get the best wrestling swag for a low, low price. That low, low price is just £25, people. What a bargain! And you can get snapbacks, t-shirts, magazines, DVDs, trinkets, whatchamacallit, doodads, you name it, they have it each and every month. And just because you listen to to TWM. You sexy people. You get 10% off your first order. All you got to do is use the code TWM News in the checkout. Just use the code TWM News in the checkout for 10% off your first order at squaredcirclebox.com. There is another PPV this weekend. It's on a little bit earlier than Impact because it's in the UK. It's NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool. Too fast, too furious. And we're going to have a little look at the card because there's no NXT UK this week. It's that Prime Target documentary thing, doodah, which I've not watched yet because... well, I can't be bothered, to be honest. Because I'm aware of the card and I'm intrigued by all of it. We're going to look through the card. We're going to start off with two matches that definitely pique Kyle's interest, and that is, of course, first of all, Trent Seven versus Eddie Dennis and Tyler Bate versus Jordan Devlin. Let's start off with Trentington against Eddie Dennis. An intriguing matchup. I am fascinated on how this is going to work out because, for my money, I can't think of a time where these two would have locked horns.
The only time I can think of, possibly, is at a Fight Club Pro Infinity tournament or in a tag team match somewhere.
I am genuinely, I'm intrigued by this because they're not exactly similar, but it's going to be a very hard-hitting, bruising match, and we're seeing Eddie on a takeover that's not in a gimmicky deal, which is good to see because obviously he's been injured for a long time, and the last match he had, I think, on a takeover would have been
last year's Blackpool.
Last year's Blackpool, wouldn't it? The last takeover match he had. So
he was injured for Cardiff.
So this is going to be really, really good. I'm thinking Eddie's winning because I think they're going to push him. Now he's back to full fitness, they're going to push him up the card. So I reckon Eddie's beating Trent here.
It seems that way, genuinely. I thought last year he was going to be the guy to beat Mastiff because what are they really doing with Mastiff now? Like, the person who beat him, Joe Coffey, has all this momentum and Mastiff's not really there. So what did giving him a longer streak really do at this point?
Mastiff and Jordan Grace, two thick people that are being overlooked by their companies. You hate to see it. There was they should have had Eddie finish it, but alas they did not. Then we got Tyler Bate versus Jordan Devlin. This has been one of the highlights of NXT UK over the last month or so, purely for Jordan Devlin, NXT UK brand rep. So we've been loving this, but also we just know this match is going to absolutely slap Kyle.
I think it's possibly going to be my favourite match of the night, and that's not just because of who's in it.
It is very much the opening two matches are very much your graps, to be fair. So
genuinely going into it, I think we've even talked about this. It was like, yeah, I just watched for two singles, watched for ladder, turn off before everything else.
I think my one was like, I'm going to watch 4 matches and then turn off the main event because I just don't care. The match that I'm most looking forward to, of course, is the ladder match. By the way, actually, I mentioned I think Tyler Bates beating Jordan Devlin for what it's worth.
And I think vice versa, because Jordan Devlin is the best brand rep we have.
we need him by the laptop with the PowerPoint presentation doing all dem fancy slides. Ladder match for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. Gallus against Grizzled Young Veterans, against Imperium, against Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. This is going to be
their team name, Matthew. You used everyone else's.
Oh, the South Wales Subculture.
There we go.
This is going to be an insane spot fest. Instead of talking about the the gimmick at large, what one insane move do you reckon we're going to see off of a ladder?
Well, first of all, insane move. I think we're going to see an NXT UK takeover sponsored by B&Q.
Not Wix.
And then, nah, definitely not Wix. I mean, we have to get those ladders from the Old Faithful Orange Building.
Just don't get the tables from wherever Progress get them because they will not break.
Yeah, but I'm not sure whether you remember this. at a Money in the Bank pay-per-view many years ago. I think it was 2011.
I literally know what spot you're going to say. Can I read your mind, Kyle?
Try it.
Is it the ladder bridge shooting star press from Evan Bourne?
Well, I was going to say, like, ladder on the outside while everyone else is just brawling from Mark Andrews. Like, but if you want to do a ladder bridge one, then that will add even more dynamics to
that. That might have been the same match. He might have done that. Evan Bourne might have done the airborne from a ladder and then off a ladder bridge onto someone. I feel like it might have been the same match.
No, because I was thinking, like, I'm not sure whether it's right, because I thought ladder bridge was Mania 26, and I thought Money in the Bank 2011 was shooting star to be outside off the ladder onto everyone.
For me, I reckon we might get a European bomb, either like off a ladder or like onto a ladder bridge.
Oh, do you know what like could even happen, which we're not even talking about? Ticket to Mayhem, like the downswing off a ladder as Gibson like gets a massive code breaker.
Yeah, I've been Holic mentioned about the Ticket to Mayhem off a ladder, which would be really... We could see the what does he call his 450? James Drake.
Oh, the Organ Crusher.
Yeah, I reckon we'll see one of them either on... We might get the old WrestleMania 2000 Jeff Hardy spot. No, he goes for the 450 and just eats a ladder.
Yeah, or we can get a replication. Look at us throwing out all ladder spots.
Yeah.
When Justin Gabriel did it off a ladder, like in the tiniest space ever.
Oh, was that the one? Was that the one where he did it balancing on a ladder that was on the top rope?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool as well. And then Gallus can just throw ladders about. Actually, we might see Wolfgang might do a cheeky little swanton.
Yeah, we might get her howling.
Off a ladder. I'm gonna go. This is weird because they've been hot potato with those belts. I'm gonna go Flash Mogul Webster and Mark Andrews.
Who's currently holding them?
Gallus.
See, I think, and we've said this as well, like we said this about the Impact stuff. For me, it's a momentum thing, because if Gallus win, I don't think Joe's getting a big one.
I don't think Joe's that there is. I'll get into it. I'll get into it in a bit, but I don't think Joe's winning. So
I think it could happen only if Gallus lose, because we've seen many like places in the wrestling world who are like, yeah, we're going to put belts on a faction, but not all of them at once. LIJ.
Yeah. How dare you compare Gallus to Los Ingobernables thereupon? How fucking dare you? I just feel they're gonna have Flash and Mark win it. I think they realised that they fucked up taking the belts off of them after a month. So I reckon they're going to put the belts back on them.
Because it's given us a great build for the main event, because now Joe seems even hungrier for the title because he's the only Gallus member without one. But to be fair, if all of Gallus are going to lose their matches, then that is the right decision, because it was a bit of a, look, you've had this magic moment, and now it's done.
I don't know. I'm going to stick with South Wales subculture. I have a feeling they're gonna walk away with the belts. Don't know why. Just do.
To me, it's subculture, or you give it to Imperium and basically create havoc by having them have everything.
Oh, and if they might, do you know, face Imperium could win because obviously they're doing the Worlds Collide, and if they have.
We've got Dusty Classic as well.
If they have
with all of these teams,
if they have none of those teams are making it to the final. For me, I think it's probably going to be. I know we're talking about this, but just booking off the top of my head, I think it's going to be Time Splitters against Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle in the final. Personally,
and my dream is Time Splitters versus South Wales Subculture.
That would be really, really good. I'd be shocked.
I don't think it will happen, though.
I don't think it will.
Well, imagine if it did.
It would be an OP junior heavyweight tag match. But it would make sense for them to put the belts on Imperium. So it's Undisputed Era versus Gallus. And it's basically all the belts from NXT and all the belts from NXT UK against each other. So, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be... Southwide Subculture, but it's literally anyone's game that's not the Grizzled Young Veterans. Watch them now win. NXT Women's Championship match, triple threat, Kaylee Ray, Toni Storm and Piper Niven. This is a tough one. like, this is obviously there's a lot of interwoven storylines. Piper Niven's been on a tear, so therefore she wants to go up against. She wants to defeat Kaylee Ray for the belt. Kaylee Ray's got into the head of Toni Storm. Toni Storm and Piper Niven, they've had disagreements, dissension between those two. Part of me thinks they might put the belt back on Toni, which would be really, really weird. No, I'm going to stick with Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray's retaining. It seems silly.
It's going to be Kaylee, and I think it's going to be the exact same way that I think like Impact Hard to Kill is ending. We're going to get some dissension. Tony's going to probably hit the like Storm Zero, or we're going to get a Piper driver, and then Kaylee's going to throw one or the other out and get the win from that.
I would say finisher, Kaylee Ray does swanton on whoever's pinning. Gory bomb, bish bash bosh, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's Kaylee Ray. I don't see past it. Toni Storm, Piper Niven's not winning. They'll save it for, I think, down the line. I reckon that, honestly, I don't know what they've booked it for, but I feel like we're going to have NXT TakeOver Glasgow, Edinburgh.
I think we are getting a takeover in the Hydro one day.
Yeah, Orkney, wherever they're going to do it. It'll be the. I reckon
takeover Ayrshire.
NXT takeover Noam Dar's house. They'll do. I'll be the next takeover. I think.
Did they do it in the Barrows?
I could do. That would be an interesting shout, Barrow Lines. But I reckon it's going to be the next one. And I honestly do think the main event will be Kaylee Ray against Piper Niven. I would love them to make it, because I just remember their Queen of Insanity match in ICW and how good that match is. I would like them to make it. I always
talk about the Queen of Insanity matches.
Yeah. If they could make that into some sort of stip match between Kaylee Ray and Piper Niven, that would be really, really good. Hopefully, I'm hoping that Piper Niven's going to be okay for TakeOver, because obviously she put on Twitter that she recently had a bout of Bell's palsy, so hopefully all is well. And she said
she's on the road to recovery.
Yeah, I reckon she'll be okay for it. All I remember, I don't remember on NXT on Wednesday them mentioning Piper Niven's name an awful lot. They were mentioning Kaylee Ray and Toni Storm a lot, never really mentioned Piper Niven's name, so it kind of red flag a little bit.
With them doing that, do you think come from behind win?
Yeah, but then if they're going to do the champion versus champion match, I don't think they're going to have Niven against Rhea, although all three of these guys have history of Rhea Ripley, so it's a pick 'em, but I'm going to stick with Kaylee Ray.
Kaylee's got the least history.
Yeah, but that's the match, like that one's kind of the marquee one, I feel like, but I don't know. It's interesting, but I'm going to say Kaylee Ray. Now it's the main event that I just don't care about. Volta versus Joe Coffey. For me, the Joe Coffey push seems so forced, ridiculously forced. And we were all thinking it was going to be Volta versus Ilya Dragunov. It made so much sense for it to be Volta versus Ilya Dragunov. They've gone with Joe Coffey because for some reason NXT UK management have this hard-on for Joe Coffey being a main eventer. They tried it literally this time last year, and do you remember the match between Joe Coffey and Pete Dunne? It was not great. It was.
I was there, and it was probably a lot better like live, but
there was 10 minutes of people falling off the top rope by accident, in all fairness.
Yeah, to be fair, I was that close that I genuinely thought one of them was going to land on me at one point.
And we've got Volta, it's just, if Joe Coffey is the one that ends up beating Volta, honestly, and this might sound like I'm overreacting, they've ruined NXT UK.
No, you just know that there's going to be, parties on the streets of, Glasgow.
It's just, it makes no sense for Joe Coffey to beat Volta. Absolutely none. Honestly, if I was booking this, I would have Volta. I'm not a fan of Volta as UK champion at the moment. I'm finding him quite dull. He's not having compelling matches like he does in Progress. He's having very basic WWE, not even NXT matches. He's having very basic WWE style matches. They made him look silly at Survivor Series. Honestly, if I was booking this, I'd have Volta beat Joe Coffey in 2 minutes.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't see it going overly long compared to a lot of the other stuff on the card, because it just doesn't have, and weirdly it doesn't, weird saying this, but your main event, your United Kingdom Championship, not WWE UK, no WWE NXT UK belt, your WWE UK, not even an NXT name in that, it's the actual proper, the launch ship of this brand. and it doesn't have big fight feel about it.
I hope the ladder match is the main event. I don't think it will be. Honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, and I think everyone will be shocked. I would have Volta beat Joe Coffey in like 2 minutes, and then have Dragunov come out, goad Volta into a match, and have Dragunov beat him. I reckon the pop would be massive if Dragunov came out. I have
a feeling that we're going to get Walter versus Ilya Dragunov down the line. It just feels right.
Imagine if they copied the WXW thing and they had Volta come back and go, this match is a three-way dance, and then Dragunov comes out and wins the belt.
Yeah. Or we're just going to get Swan Love.
Kara's nowhere near NXT UK yet. I personally hope he stays away, because I reckon he needs a lot more. He needs more time to cook. He's not a fully plumped swan yet for stuff like that. And also, it depends how WWE... Yeah, we could get into a long thing about Cara in a while. But Ilya, down the line, this should be Volta Ilya, and I'm annoyed that it's Joe Coffey, because if they had the only reason he's in this is if they don't have a mid-card belt. If they had a mid-card belt, Joe Coffey would be all over that, because that's his level. I'm sorry, it is, and it sounds harsh, but it's his level, upper mid card. He's not a main eventer. It sounds harsh, but in my opinion, he's not a main eventer. However, we will indeed be covering NXT UK TakeOver on our Twitters about TWMMY Wrestle, and we'll have a cheeky little pay-per-view review of it out next Monday. Tidy.
Why not spread? I said, why not spread the gospel of the TWM squad with some of our lovely merch over at Teespring? We have t-shirts for all shapes and sizes, hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and loads more. Also, just for listening to this podcast, you can get 10% off your order. I said using the code PODCAST. That's PODCAST. Once again, PODCAST in the checkout for 10% off at teespring.com/stores/TWM-wrestling-merch. That's right. Praise. Testify.
So it's time for the 2019 TWMMys, and I've got myself my own live audience. Thank you everyone. We're here, sold out in the... Kyle, where are we?
On Discord somewhere?
We're on, Discord's. Thank you very much. Thank you for the applause. Thank you very much. Oh, no, they applauded again. We're going to go through the results of the TWMMys. You guys have been voting over the last week or two. Thank you very, very much. I think we got round about 500 votes overall in regards. Might be a little bit more, a little bit less. I forgot to add them all up, to be honest. But we got 500 of you voted, and we thank you very, very much for that. So, you know what, Kyle, I feel generous, so I'm going to let you decide what is the first category that we announced the winner of. So we have got TWMMY Moment of the Year, TWMMY Match of the Year, TWMMY Female of the Year, or TWMMY Male of the Year. What one are we going to go for first?
You know what? It's been a revolutionary year, or more like an evolutionary year. Let's start with the Female of the Year.
Let's do that, shall we? So, the Female of the Year. Your 4 nominees were Tessa Blanchard, Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, and Becky Lynch. So, here are the top 3 in ascending order. In third place, Tessa Blanchard with 21.4%, and I am raging that Blanchard's only in third. In second place, it's Rhea Ripley with 31.7% of the vote. And in first place, it is, of course, Becky Lynch. 40.9% 28.7% of the vote. I am shocked that Becky Lynch won it this year. I genuinely thought it would be between Rhea Ripley and Tessa Blanchard, but Becky Lynch has pulled it out once again. She dominated last year's TWMM's, Kyle, and she's won Female of the Year this year.
Well, while Tessa is breaking down barriers in Impact and Rhea is, well, making her name in NXT, becoming the most talked about woman in the developmental brand, would you possibly say?
Yeah, I would say.
There is perhaps no competition popularity-wise right now for the person who has given, well, all females around the world something to aim for, being the reason, like, I would say more so that triple threat match at Mania became so popular, and that is the man Becky Lynch. Right,
let's go into... No, we'll do TWME 2019 Moment of the Year. We're going to do that one. Your 4 nominees were Women headlining WrestleMania, the launch of All Elite Wrestling, Jay White's 2019. Thanks, Stephanie, for that one. That is this year's Schmitty contribution, which is usually the phrase for someone put something in because they really, really liked it and it got no votes. I think it got like 8% of the votes. Sorry, Steph. And Kofi Mania. Those are your 4 nominees for Moment of the Year. So in third place with 17.6% of the votes. Now, I've told you, Kyle, that Jay White came a distant 4th. What do you think came 3rd?
Anything not New Japan related.
That's literally the other 3, so you've not narrowed it down there at all, Kyle. It was the women headlining WrestleMania with 17.6%. Take a big jump up to 2nd. So this is actually it's going to tell us who it is. So I have to do the drum roll now because I've given the game away there a little bit. So in 2nd place with 33.8% of the votes, it is the launch of AEW. So the winner of Moment of the Year with 44.1% of the vote, it's Kofi Mania, the 2019 TWME Moment of the Year. Round of applause for Kofi Kingston. A deserved winner there, Kyle.
Isn't it amazing when a happy accident, basically becomes, as I said earlier, revolutionary? Because let's not forget, this was not the original plan, and yet Kofi Kingston had his year.
Yes, he did. It was meant to be Ali. Ali got kicked in the face. Kofi got his moment. So you can all thank Randy Orton's errant boot for that one. Let's do Match of the Year. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do 2019 Male of the Year. Let's end with Match of the Year.
Good, because I feel that is the correct decision, considering how good some of these matches were.
Male of the Year. Your 4 nominees this year were Kofi Kingston, Adam Cole, David Starr and Will Ospreay. So in 3rd place with 17% of the vote, he was a part of Moment of the Year, but he's not Male Wrestler of the Year. It is Kofi Kingston. In 2nd place with 23.8% of the vote, it's Will Ospreay. And so it's between David Starr and Adam Cole. I feel like I'm a celebrity. It's one of the person who's going home today. But the person who is winning the 2019 Male Wrestler of the Year is Adam Cole, baby. I'm not even gonna lie, it wasn't even close. Adam Cole got nearly half the votes. 49.7% of the vote. The reigning NXT champion is the TWME 2019 Male Wrestler of the Year. Not a real shock at all, is it, Carl, to be fair?
Not really, when you think about it. Adam Cole, much like Kofi Kingston, had his year, but he's been at the forefront of NXT for a long time. When you compare the other names in that, like David Starr, traveling the world, making his name, probably not getting as much notice as a lot of people due to not being on mainstream TV because he is independent. Kind of a controversial thing to say, but genuinely that might be why, because a lot of people will look more at the television audience, or even more so, well, the online streaming services of a New Japan, because look at the difference in percentages between Will Ospreay and Kofi Kingston, as well as the one between Ospreay and Cole.
Yeah. By the way, you mentioning independent reminds me that I really need to Photoshop Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in the We the Independent t-shirts.
Please do.
That needs to be a thing. Generally, I thought of that today. I was reading my phone on the way to work, and I was like, I really need to put a photo of them in the We the Independent shirts. It's just really, really funny. Anyway, let us do 2019 match of the year before I bring something else up to round things off on Best of the Rest this week. Now, this is an interesting one because I'm going to mention all 4 nominees in the top 3 because we have a joint 3rd place, and that joint 3rd place is probably going to massively annoy Kyle, because in joint 3rd place is Women's War Games and David Starr versus Jordan Devlin from OTT 5th anniversary.
I was there for it, and I can attest to the fact that you are all wrong. Yeah,
I'm saying
should have won.
I'm saying this now. You are all objectively wrong. That is the best match I have ever seen. David Starr versus Jordan Devlin. In 2nd place, which is... Actually, I probably need to do this, don't I? Get the drum roll ready, because we're going to reveal the winner.
Yeah, we've already mentioned the other 2.
2nd place, and you can tell this one was an absolute landslide with 18.7% of the vote. Kim's going to be happy, slightly not happy, because it was Jon Moxley against Kenny Omega, the unsanctioned match from Full Gear. So, with 49.1% of the vote, again, literally half the vote went to Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. 2 out of 3 falls from NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Was it this? New Orleans? New Orleans. I can't remember. Where the one it was this year. NXT TakeOver New York, sorry. 49.1% of the vote. Yeah, if you look at it, it's a complete landslide for WWE again this year. Might have to change it up. It seems to be just the indie guys do not get a look in, which is a real shame. But yeah, 49.1% of the vote, Cole and Gargano. Now, Kyle, this may worry you. I've done some maths.
Was it quick maths, Big Shaq?
It wasn't quick maths. It was maths where I had to do fractions and stuff. I used a computer. I didn't actually do it myself. Because I calculated...
actual maths.
I calculated the amount of votes that Becky Lynch and Adam Cole got to decide who is our overall wrestler of the year. Look to the averages, look how many people voted, and there was a big enough gap to decide an overall majority, first past the post system. Brexit means Brexit vote. And the 2019 Wrestler of the Year is... Well, it's just Adam Cole. Baby, Adam Cole won by a fair few votes. The audience have got bored. They're not even cheering anymore. They can't be asked. Adam Cole, 2019 Wrestler of the Year. They swept the NXT Year-End Awards, and Adam Cole has swept the TWMMys this year, winning 3 awards: Wrestler of the Year, Male Wrestler of the Year, and Match of the Year. He did what Becky Lynch did last year and literally nearly win every single category. Thank you everyone who voted as a part of the TWMMys. It'll be fun. We'll see you guys next year for more awards action. And that wrapped things up for this week. That wrapped things up for this week's Best of the Rest. If you want to get in touch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all at TWM Wrestle. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean, YouTube, all that good stuff. TWM.news, you can check out Day's preview for NXT UK TakeOver. On Sunday, you'll see Kayla's article previewing Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill. Check out loads of our stuff from AEW, WWE, NXT, British Independent Minute Wrestling. We've got a great article on Chris Brooks, I think out today actually, so go check that out if you can. Yeah, lovely stuff. Make sure you get our social medias, by the way, because not to humble brag, a bunch of us are going to be down at BT Sports Studios on Wednesday for a WWE house party, which is going to be fun. We'll be doing taking some photos and stuff, so definitely check that out. Yeah, Kyle, social media.
I would say follow Adam Cole, but you've already voted him to be the most popular wrestler of the year, so you kind of don't need to.
Yeah, so yeah, just I don't know. Unfollow him, then follow him, because he needs more validation. He's not had enough on this podcast. I'm at Matty ID. He's at your boy __KJ. Thought I'd give you some love and shout you out there at TWM Wrestle. Best of the Rest podcast. It's been real. We'll see you guys next Friday.